Kevin Owens reveals whose idea the fan footage of his attack on Cody Rhodes was. Moments after the WWE Bad Blood Premium Live event was over, the prizefighter Kevin Owens confronted the Universal Champion Cody Rhodes in the parking lot. A fan had recorded the interaction and it went viral. After exchanging a few words, Owens attacked Rhodes. While speaking to Chris Van Vliet on his Insight podcast, Kevin Owens revealed that the idea to attack Rhodes in the absence of the WWE production team came from Triple H. Owens shared that he was not confident about the presence of fans at the parking lot. But he was wrong. Triple H was 100% right and the video went viral in a matter of moments. It wasn't me. That was Triple H. That was his idea. He felt confident in doing it that way. I was not sure. I'm like, I don't know, is there even going to be enough people there? It turns out he was completely right. There was, and yeah, it's just a different way of telling the stories and he's got a different mentality than Vince had. It's really interesting, and people really responded to it. The same thing with Randy. The way I ended up ultimately turning on Randy, it was on TV, but it was done differently. It was something that was released later as well, and you just kind of caught the tail end of it on TV, but then they did the security footage after. He wants to tell stories differently, and he's willing to try stuff out and see what sticks, and I think that makes the show way more interesting. It doesn't mean it's always gonna work. There might be sometimes it doesn't land, but we're trying different things and new things, and I think that's so important. Further speaking about his feud with Rhodes, another high point was at Saturday night's main event when Owens delivered a package piledriver to Rhodes. It was the first time Owens used the move in WWE. He said he'd been asking to do it for a while. Owens said he knew Penta was coming to WWE and joked that he would have lost his sh*t if Penta got to do the move before him. Owens was scheduled to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41, but that match is now off the books as Owens is scheduled to undergo neck surgery. It wasn't me. That was Triple H. That was his idea, to rely on fans to film my attack on Cody Rhodes after WWE Bad Blood. He felt confident in doing it that way. I was not sure. I'm like, I don't know, man. Is there even going to be enough people there? It turns out he was completely right. There was, and yeah, it was just a different way of telling the stories and he's got a different mentality than Vince McMahon had. And it's really interesting and people really responded to it, and the same thing with Randy Orton. The way I ended up ultimately turning on Randy, it was on TV but it was done differently. It was something that was released later as well and you just kind of caught the tail end of it on TV, but then they did the security footage after. He wants to tell stories differently and he's willing to try stuff out and see what sticks, and I think that makes the show way more interesting. It doesn't mean it's always gonna work. There might be sometimes it doesn't land. But we're trying different things and new things, and I think that's so important in wrestling. When it gets monotonous and repetitive, no matter how good the matches are and the promos are, if you feel like you've seen it before, and it's okay to have seen it before once. If you see a rematch once or twice, great. But man, there were times over, I'd say in 2008, 2009, and I was an avid fan. I would never miss any WWE shows, even when I was an independent wrestler traveling the world. But I started paying a lot less attention in 08, 09 because I felt like this is literally the same thing every single week. And there were times where, even when I was here, like 2016, 2017, I felt like we just did this 2 weeks ago and now we're doing it again, and to me, when it gets like that, it's just not the way we need to do things. I think we need different things. There's new things. We need to try stuff and it has to feel unpredictable and exciting. Well, the package piledriver was something I've asked many times before and it was always, no. Not right now. Not today, doesn't work, can't do it. Until eventually it was, yeah, okay, let's do it, and then, I didn't feel like hitting it on Randy Orton was the best decision. I thought a normal piledriver was enough for Randy because Randy is gigantic. Quite frankly, I didn't think I could get him up for the package piledriver because of the way his body needs to be. He's just too massive, but yeah, and then, Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event was the right time to do it. It was cool. I waited a long time to get to do that in WWE, and the funny part is I knew Penta was coming and Penta was doing package piledriver and I was like, he better not get to do it before me because I will lose my sh*t. But it all worked out.
Kevin Owens' heinous act to cost Randy Orton his match versus Carmelo Hayes on WWE SmackDown. Chances explored. WWE superstar Randy Orton returned at the 2025 Elimination Chamber to get back at his former ally Kevin Owens. The Viper stopped the prizefighter from further destroying Sami Zayn after the unsanctioned match between the Canadians. While Cole eventually managed to escape Orton's wrath thanks to the security officials, he could pull off a heinous trick against the Apex Predator on this week's edition of SmackDown. Kevin Owens turned heel during the closing stages of the 2024 Bad Blood after Cody Rhodes teamed up with Roman Reigns. A rogue Co then feuded with Randy, eventually injuring the 14-time world champion after delivering a piledriver to Randy during a brawl on SmackDown last November. Now, Randy Orton is back to collect his dues from Owens. The Viper is scheduled to face Carmelo Hayes on this week's edition of SmackDown. Although Orton may not fall for Melo's sneaky pinfall roll-up this time around, there is a chance that Cole may cause a distraction, which may allow him to steal another win. Hayes previously defeated Randy in a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifying match last year that also involved Tama Tonga. Notably, the prizefighter had reached the doorsteps of Sami Zayn ahead of their unsanctioned match in Toronto. He posted a video of himself from outside Sami's house on X. The former Universal Champion issued threats in the video and blamed his frenemy for the consequences that awaited the Raw superstar. Now, Cole could perform the heinous act once again and pull up outside Orton's house this time. This would be the perfect setup for an opportunist like Hayes to land a vicious blow and pin the Apex Predator. While this is a significant possibility, all of this is speculation so far. Randy Orton to injure Kevin Owens during their potential match at WrestleMania 41. Kevin Owens has been a loose cannon ever since he turned heel. The prizefighter has used the package piledriver on multiple superstars and also tried to execute the banned move on Shawn Michaels during the contract signing segment ahead of his latter match against Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. Moreover, he also stole the Winged Eagle title last December. Randy Orton has already hinted that he is ready to bring back his Legend Killer mode and completely destroy Cole. He almost landed a punt kick on the former United States champion in Toronto but was stopped by the security officials seconds before his boot made contact with Owens' skull. If the two men get a spot at WrestleMania 41, this foreshadowing could see the light of day in Las Vegas. The company could use this setup to give the Viper a big win and send Cole on a kayfabe injury hiatus. However, this is also speculative at this point. It will be interesting to see what lies ahead for the former friends on the road to the show of shows. Randy Orton will return to the ring for his first match since October on the Friday, March 14 WWE SmackDown. Orton kicked off this week's episode with a promo addressing John Cena's heel turn and Orton's surprise run-in at last Saturday's Elimination Chamber PLE following the Kevin Owens vs. Sami Zayn match. Later in Friday's show, after a run-in with Carmelo Hayes in a backstage segment, Orton vs. Hayes was made official for next Friday's SmackDown.